Hello, welcome back to the Soul of Books podcast, a hangout place for all the book lovers out there. I hope you guys are having a great day, and let's get started. Today we'll be talking about Ash Princess Trilogy by Laura Sebastian. She's a promising American author, and Ash Princess is her debut work. If I'm right, I read this series at the very beginning of the pandemic, and let's just say that Laura Sebastian took me to another dimension that I thoroughly enjoyed visiting. If you are a fan of Victoria, Aveyard, Sabaa, Tahir, Holly Black, Leigh Bardugo, and so on, you will love this. And don't worry, all the parts are out, so you can read in peace. So this book comes under the genre of fantasy, and the story goes like this. 10 years ago, the Calawaxians came and conquered Astria, a land of peace and magic. In Calawaxian, the king is called the Kaiser and the queen is called Kaiserin. Now, the real queen of Astria, the Fire Queen, was murdered in front of Theodore, our protagonist. Theo was later crowned Ash Princess, a title of shame to bear in her new life as a prisoner. Theo was beaten and left with scars until she forgot her name and was now called Thora. She lives in her dead mother's castle under the Kaiser's thumb. She is literally treated as a toy and showcased as a symbol of her fallen people. Her back bears the scars of every attempt of her rebellion. Now, as a mockery, she is given a crown with ashes falling from her head to her shoulders. She is paraded in front of her people and other guests as Kaiser's domination and to show the world what he's capable of. Thora has a friend at the castle, which happens to be the daughter of the guy who cut her mother's throat, literally in front of her. Talk about irony. Now, Thora has stayed silent, acting the part the Kaiser wanted her to play, pleasant, submissive, and so on, but that is all about to change. The story takes off quickly with a few key events: the death of the most notorious leader of the rebellion, the return of the Kaiser's son, and the sudden appearance of Thora's childhood friend who seeks to rescue her. She could actually take this golden opportunity to save herself and escape the palace. And all these events kindle Thora's hope, and her transition back into the old Theo begins. They kindle the calling of the regal blood flowing in her veins, and they forge a new plan, not one of escape, but taking back her throne. So in this series, Lady Smoke is the second installment, and it provides a transition between Theodosia's life in Book 1 to the war and climax we encounter in Book 3. While the plot of this installment is kinda slower paced, it allows time to expand characters and story. Now, as Theo begins looking for allies and building an army, we get to travel to a distant land and encounter rulers from many other countries. And Ember Queen is the third installment of this series, and I don't want to spoil anything and disrupt the journey, so I won't be giving any spoilers on any of these books. Ember Queen is the conclusion book of the series, and a lot of crazy things go down, filled with action, friendship, and emotionally wrecking moments. This book just might wreck you. This book is also kind of underrated, and if you are like me and love living in an imaginary world, you should give this a try. And if you have already read this book and you want to read something similar, I suggest the Red Queen series by Victoria Aveyard, and Ember the Ashes series by Sabaa Tahir, Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I'll be giving my reviews on these books in the future, so look out for that. Also, drop in your thoughts or suggestions in the comment section or message section. I'll be looking into those. If you are new here and like the content, consider following or subscribing to be notified when I post new content. Alright, that's it for the week. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.